And here's my document camera. So I forgot to print off the sign-in sheet again. There's the sign-in sheet. Okay, and we started 1.6, right?
So I'm probably not. Yeah, we're just going. No, it's done.
I'm gonna go back to this other screen. I can't make up my mind where I want to go. Okay, so all the videos, the recorded lectures that are up here now will open when you click on them. It'll go to YouTube. So, well, now that's not right. It's not supposed to do that. Okay, I'll have to go in and fix all my videos. But on my computer, it worked. Of course, I guess on my computer, I'm signed into Google, and they're signed into YouTube. But I'll fix them where they're not private. But you can see them. They're all there. They're all YouTube. I'll go in a minute and fix all those when we finish the class. I put the AC method, the trial and error method, I put that up in week 3. When I get through with this worksheet, I'm going to do a video for it and put it up in Canvas. And then I'm also going to scan and upload this worked example, or the work where we worked them together. Now, and I think I told y'all, I asked y'all to finish them between now, or between last weekend, do as much as you can this week. Hopefully, I don't remember where we got, because I'm doing them all in purple. Anyway, you can check these. Did we have any questions? And I know I didn't realize until after I finished this that when you got to number 24, we were doing different problems. So, actually, when we get to 16, we're doing a different problem. I flipped the page over. Do we have any questions on any of these up through 15? The factoring and then the canceling and all that good stuff.
We're good.
Yes. Y'all are good? Okay, what about y'all in here? Y'all okay? All right. Then let's look at number 14. And I'll zoom this in. Try to anyway.
You said 14?
Yes. Yeah, 16. Did you have a question on 14?
Oh, no.
I got it. I got 14 and 15 worked.
But we can't see it.
All right, here's 14 and 15. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
But we just can't see your paper. It's I guess it's still on your modules from your, there you go.
You can see what I've got for my document cam though, right?
We can see it now.
Okay. I wasn't sharing the right screen evidently. Okay. All right, I'll give this to y'all in a little bit. I want to go ahead and get here. Let's look at 16. And we're back to adding fractions. But this time we have fractions with variables. Okay. And this is where the butterfly method will work. I'm going to multiply the bottom numbers together to get my denominator, which would be xy. And then I'm going to cross multiply top right or top left to lower right. So that gives me 4y. And then bottom left to top right gives me 10x. That's all I can do with that, okay? That's writing it as one fraction. That's all we're doing. Now in 17, we're still doing the same thing. We're subtracting, and I'm going to do it kind of the old-fashioned way. I'm still going to multiply 2q times 3p. 2 times 3 gives me 6, and I'm going to have pq. I always write them in alphabetical order. Then, instead of doing the butterfly, I multiply the 2q times the 3p, so I got to multiply the 12 times the 3p. I multiply the 3p times 2q, I multiply the 6 times the 2q.
Do it matter which way you do the P and the Q, like the 6PQ, or is it 6QP?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way. So 3 times 12 is 36. And then my
Working for this one, I was gonna say.
And then 6 times 2 gives me 12q. So I've got 36p plus 12q over 6pq.
Okay, can you go back to the, where you get the, after the 6PQ, can you tell me how you got the top?
I multiplied, to get the 6pq, I had to multiply 2q times 3, right? Whatever I multiply on bottom, I multiply on top. So I'm going to do 3p times 12. And that's where I got the 36p.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I did the 3p times the 2q. So I'm going to multiply the top times 2q. 6 times 2 gives me 12, and that should be a minus and not a plus.
Does that need to be simplified, or do you keep it like that?
You can keep it like that. I'm just trying to get the process right now.
Okay, will you take a picture of me?
So we had basically simple single terms on the bottom. Now I have 2 terms on the bottom. All right, we're not going to multiply them out, as far as I'm not going to FOIL them. I'm going to multiply them together as a plus 1 times a minus 3. Okay. Now, which way y'all like, the butterfly method, or do you like the butterfly? All right, so I'm going to do 4 times the a minus 3, 4 in parentheses, a minus 3. And then I'm going to do, it's plus a plus 1 times the 5. I'm still going to write the 5 first, though. The 5 times the a plus 1. To work the bottom out, we have to multiply the top out, though. I'm going to distribute the 4 to a and 3, and then I'm going to distribute the 5 to a and 1. So that would give me 4a minus 12 plus 5a, 5 times 1 is 5, so plus 5. It's still over the same denominator, a plus 1, a minus 3. We're still only working with the top. So we're going to combine our like terms. 4a and 5a gives me 9a. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. And then it's over the a plus 1, a minus 3. Okay. So we're not, as far as this class, we're not going to multiply the denominators together. Questions?
First, kind of just help them think it 4 and 3.
Yeah, you can, as long as you show me this one. Now, On 19, got a binomial on top and a binomial on bottom. Still going to multiply the bottom together and get y minus 2 times y plus 1. I'm going to FOIL it out, just multiply them together. And then I'm still going to do the butterfly method, so I'm going to have y plus 3 times y plus 1. So I'm going to go this way. That's plus y minus 2 times y minus 3. The catch here is that on the top, I still have to multiply everything out and simplify it out. So I'm going to FOIL the first two terms, the y plus 3 times y plus 1. I'm going to have y squared plus y, 3y plus 3. And it's still plus. Then I want to do the last terms, the y minus 2 times the y minus 3. So I get y squared minus 3y minus 2y. And then negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And that's still over the same denominator. Okay. So I'm FOILing on the left, and then I'm going to FOIL on the right. I'm going to multiply it out. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. I've got a y squared and a y squared. That gives me a 2y squared. Because I have two of them. Here's a kind of a neat little trick. I've got a positive 3y here. I've got a negative 3y here. Plus 3y minus 3y, they cancel each other, right? So then I only have to add the y and the negative 2, which gives me negative 1y. And then 3 plus 6 gives me 9. And I'm left with y minus 2 over y plus 1.
Do you have to factor the top?
If you can, you're supposed to. I'm trying to see if this, I was trying to do it in my head to see if this one factors. I don't think it does. Because if I use the AC method, 2 times 9 is 18. What?
If you get a -1.
Yeah, to get a -1, I can't think of any factors in negative 18 that's going to give me -1. If I look at, or actually 18, it's a positive, it's not going to work because this is a positive 9 and this is a -1. So both my factors would have to be negative. And I don't have two factors that are going to be negative to give me a 9, I mean an 18. So it's not factorable, so we're going to leave it just like it is. Sometimes they will factor, and then you can cancel one of the denominators.
Okay.
All right, so y'all try 20. See how far you get. Pay attention that this one's minus, okay? We haven't done a minus yet. But all of the first few steps are all the same.
Ms. Young, when is our first test?
I'm still thinking about it. See, today is Wednesday. Maybe next Wednesday. I've still got to get you some homework up. It won't be before next Wednesday, I'll put it that way. Okay, so is everybody with me so far? Are you're doing your cross, kind of doing the butterfly, the x minus 1 times the 2x plus 1, then the x plus 1 times the 2x plus 3. Then we FOIL them out. So I get x times 2x, and I get 2x squared. X times 1, I get 1x. Negative 1 times 2, I get negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 1, I get the negative 1. Same thing over on the other side. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit simpler. I went ahead and, since it's subtraction, I went ahead and put each term in parentheses, or each set of terms in parentheses. And then I'm going to combine the like terms from each side. So I have 2x squared, x minus 2x gives me negative 1x minus 1. I'm going to keep it in parentheses. Positive 3x plus 2x gives me 5x plus 3. And I still have it over the x plus 1, 2x plus 1. Now, since I'm subtracting, I'm doing 2x minus 2x. So 2x minus 2x is 0, right? Or I should say 2x squared minus 2x squared. So I can just kind of cancel those out because they become 0. And then negative 1x minus 5x. We've got to do the sign in the middle. Negative 1 minus 5 gives me negative 6x. Then I have negative 1 minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4 over x plus 1, 2x plus 1. If I do negative 1 minus 5, same thing as saying negative 1 plus a negative 5. Negative, or 1 and 5 is 6. I need to write it out. You need a visual? Okay. So if I'm doing negative 1x, and because of this minus sign, it makes it minus 5x.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, if you want to distribute this minus to each term and change all the signs, you can do that and it'll work too. All right. That doesn't, oh, I can factor a negative 2 out of this, and I'm left with x plus 2.
So if you want to redistribute to each term on the top. So that's a negative already on the top.
That's right. And so this would be my final answer.
Oh, we have to factor or just.
If you can factor it and it's going to cancel the denominator, then yeah, you have to. But like this one, I know taking that negative 2 out, nothing was going to factor. So or nothing was going to cancel, so I'd have left it just like this. But you know, it's always better to factor it at full factor.
I also have.
Greatest common factor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you went from negative 6x minus 4. Should there be a 3x on the inside?
There should be. Yes. Hey, that's my first mistake today. Our first big mistake, I should say. I think my first mistake was getting out of bed this morning. Okay, now I got the right answer. Somebody always catches my mistakes, and I'm very thankful for that, by the way. All right, so try 22. This one's also, whoops, hey, I missed 21. Try 21. This one's a positive, it's a plus. So we're going to do the same thing.
Add the outside.
Yeah, you don't have to distribute the minus. You don't have to worry about subtracting.
Usually, so I'm really kind of good with.
Did I get what?
Squared. 5 + 2.
3 + 2 gives me 5. These are the only
Oh,
z-squares
okay.
I have.
Okay, I was looking at the others.
It may be practical.
No factors of 25 that are going to give me 1. They're positive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, my Z's really like those, and I thought it was 12. But, okay.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that I put the line through my z's. I get real sloppy with my z's and my 2's, and they start looking alike.
Well, you would think, because I always do like the swirl, the distinctive by stuff.
But with z, and that's one thing I try not to do is put z's and s's on the test. Or because they can get so confusing. And math is confusing enough at times. All right, so does everybody agree with my answer? Or did I miss something? Ready to try another one?
Yes.
Let's try 22. Before we go on and worry about it getting harder, try 22 first.
Yeah, that's why I built up my confidence, because I know it's on the first page.
Well, actually, this is the 3rd page.
You know,
Yeah, I know what you mean. We just started, in other words. It's a minus.
Like every single thing negative, right? Across the board.
Well, except for that first term, everything that comes after the minus sign. Well, we're not gonna make it minus, we're just gonna change signs.
Yeah. So the 4 stays the same, like the 4s, and then anything after that, and just do the opposite sign.
Let's multiply them together first. Okay, and then simplify it and then change the signs. Right to after you. What I did is I went ahead and unfolded it, simplified it, because minus p plus p gives me 0.
I have a question right there. I can't see very well, but is it p plus 1 and p plus 1 on both of them?
It is. For some reason I wrote p plus 1, p minus 1. But that changes all my answers. But very good. Thank you. Somebody's more observant than I am, and I appreciate that. So that gives me a plus p and a plus p.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, no, it's what happens when the teacher can't have C. That's why she used erasable pen. That gives me 2p plus 1. Then I'm going to have the 16p squared minus p squared minus 2p minus 1. So that gives me 15p squared minus 2p minus 1. And we're not even going to worry if that one factors or not.
It does factor, but it doesn't cancel.
Okay, then we won't worry about it. Yeah, 7 and 5, 3 and 5. Okay. Now you can change the signs. Because it's minus. All right. So questions before we move on? Because this next one's different. Okay. I honestly think it's easier, especially easier than the factoring we did earlier.
I like this to help with basic.
Yeah, the AC method or the trial and error method. All right, we're only going to look at the numerator. We're only going to look at the top first. Okay. I've got to get a common denominator. Basically, I'm going to write it as one fraction. Same thing we did at the very first of this lesson. So I'm going to multiply my x and my y together, and I'm going to get xy or yx. And the butterfly, 6 times x. And it's minus y times 4. I'm going to write it as 4y. Doesn't like me zooming in. Then I'm going to take and put it over, find a different color.
Why is xy the denominator when it's just y on the?
Look at only the top.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because the whole thing is over this y down here, okay? So then we're going to write it over this y on the bottom. And since it's a single y, it'd be a whole y, I'm going to put it over 1. This is the same thing as saying this top fraction divided by the bottom fraction. It's a complex fraction at this point. So I'm going to rewrite it where I have 6x minus 4y over xy divided by y over 1. Okay, so y'all remember how we divide fractions? The keep flip change. Have I done the keep flip change with y'all? The KFC? Yes. All right, we're going to do the KFC, the keep flip change. So I'm going to keep the first one just like it is, 6x minus 4y over xy. Change my division to multiplication, and then I'm going to flip my y over 1 to 1 over y. I can't cancel the y on the top with the y in the bottom because it's part of a binomial. It has to be, that has to be multiplied. If I had a y on the outside, I could cancel it. So I'm just going to multiply straight across. So 6x minus 4y times 1 gives me the 6x minus 4y. xy times y gives me xy squared. That's the answer. Looks harder than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not really.
They are.
Most of them.
Really?
Mhm. There's some tricks that come up, but most of them are going to be that easy. Okay, since I've already got these worked on the other page. So number 24 is 2a, 2 over a plus 7 over b, all over b. This is number 24. All right, same thing we did a while ago. We're only looking at this top. Not going to worry about the fact that it's over b. So get your common denominator, do your butterfly, where I have AB on bottom, 2b plus 7a on top. And I'm going to write it as b divided by b over 1. And how many people am I going to lose when I do this? We know it's division. We know that I'm going to flip the bottom one, and I'm going to change my division to multiplication, right? So I'm going to do 2b plus 7a over ab. I'm going to change that to multiplication. I'm going to take my b over 1 and make it 1 over b. That just skips that one step where I rewrote it. And then again, I just multiply straight across. 2b plus 7c over ab squared. Do what?
Put a C to the
Oh.
Hello, where did C come from?
But my hand didn't finish the A. That looked like a better A. There we go.
I don't
know why I wrote a C instead of an A, honestly.
Letters are fine.
They are.
They don't follow that people.
Well, it's either you use letters or you use symbols. Yeah.
Well, they'll figure out something.
Yeah. But you've got to have, because we're solving for, and when we start solving these, we'll solve for unknowns. In this case, I've got 2 different unknowns. Now,
What is it?
the unknowns, like 2 different ones. I got an A and a B. What is A and what is B that's going to make this statement true? that 2 times b plus 7 times a is going to be over that square. Of course, I don't know what it equals, so I can't solve for it. But that's, we had it equal to something we could solve. Okay. Let's look at 25. I have x over 4 minus p over 8 divided by p. The only thing different with this one's got a minus sign. When I've got just numbers on the denominator there.
So you start off with like, it's 8x and then 4p and minus 4p.
Yeah, it'd be minus 4p. Because you do, top left to bottom right, and then it's minus or plus, whatever the symbol is, bottom left to top right. So it's always be plus or minus the bottom to the top. So that gives me 8x minus 4p over 32 divided by p over 1. Okay, I'm going to do that same little trick I did a while ago, where I have 8x minus the 4p over the 32 times 1 over p.
So you put it in the addition.
We're still doing multiplication. This is because see, I keep the first one just like it is, nothing changes. And then I flip the bottom one and then I multiply them together. So that's going to give me 8x minus 4p over 32p.
Are we more of that or that going to be the answer?
Well, for now, that's going to be the answer for now. I don't want to confuse you with canceling everything.
Okay, can't you put like on the outside like it's 4p?
I can't take a 4p out of all of them because this was an x.
But
But I could take a 4 out of all of it. Yeah. And I wouldn't have to put it on the outside because it goes into the denominator also. But I'm not going to, we're learning this process still.
yeah, I'm trying to piece together some of my algebra.
Yeah, some of the algebra from high school with this. Whoops.
Is it okay if we did take it out?
Yes, it's okay. If you reduce it, it's perfectly fine. All right, so let's look at 26. I have 3a, 3 over a, plus b over 6. Then it's all over 2b over 3a. So the only difference this time is that I've got a fraction in the denominator. So I don't have to make my p a fraction, yeah. It's already there. I don't have to put that over 1. The numerator, I'm still going to do the same thing too. I have 6a on the bottom. Again, I'm going to do my keep, my flip, and my change. Can't be boring. Math is boring enough as it is. Times 3 over a. Okay. Now, remember when we're multiplying fractions? If I've got something on top that'll go into something on bottom, I can reduce it. Okay, now I can't do the b into the b here because of the plus sign on the top. But since it's just a 6 times a and a 3 times a, I can cancel that. So my a's will cancel because I got 1 on top, 1 on bottom. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 6 2 times. And then I can multiply straight across. Still 18 AB because, the 18 doesn't have the AB, so I can't add them together. Well, it's just 1 times that.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to add it still.
It's Wednesday,
Tell me about it.
and 2 times 2 is 4, then the single B. So how are we doing?
Good.
Good. All right. This is easier than what we've been doing, right?
Yes.
Kinda.
I'm understanding it more quickly.
That's good. That is a good thing. All right, so 27. I haven't worked 27 yet. I'm gonna put 27 on my paper. All right, oops, 27. All right, we're taking it up a notch, but we're not doing anything that we haven't done already. Okay, we're building on everything we've already done except for the factoring. So to get and again, I'm only looking at this numerator first. The denominator is x plus 1, x minus 1. And in my numerator, I'm going to go 3 times the x minus 1. It's plus, and then x plus 1 times 2, I'm going to do 2 times the x plus 1. I'm going to keep it over the x minus 1, x plus 1 on the bottom. And then I'm going to distribute my 3, and I'm going to distribute my 2 before I do anything else, because I got to be able to combine like terms. 3x minus 3 plus x plus. These take more room to write out. Simplify or, combine the like terms up on top. Now, is any of that hard? Time consuming.
Exactly.
Time consuming, a lot of steps, a lot of room for error. But I mean, it's stuff that we've done, right?
Yeah.
Nothing really new. I'm not going to do anything new here. I'm still going to keep this top fraction. Still going to flip the bottom fraction. So I have 5x minus 1 over the x minus 1, x plus 1. And then flip the bottom one, so I have x plus 1 over x minus 1. And then this is where I have an x plus 1 on top. I have the x plus 1 on bottom. Just like we did when we were factoring, we can cancel both polynomials. And I have 5x minus 1. I have an x minus 1 now times an x minus 1. I can write it as x minus 1 squared.
Actually, from 5x minus.
3x plus 2x gives me the 5x. Then negative 3 plus 2 gives me the negative 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That pesky, it was times the x minus 1, so I make that a minus 3.
Gotcha.
Haven't lost anybody, have
We haven't even gained one yet.
Hey,
I? I thought I had you a while ago.
On the first one we did, I got it.
Then I lost you
After
after that.
that, gone. Again.
I'll do some slower videos on this. All right. So same thing here, it's just more numbers or more letters, longer, time consuming.
Okay.
That scared me. I jumped. That Tammy,
It is.
you caused me to jump. All right, so 2 times the c plus 1, or 2c times the c plus 1. This one's plus, so c plus 2 times the c minus 1. Leave the denominator just like it is. that fraction down there. Then I'm going to distribute the top and then FOIL this other one. So I have 2c squared plus 2c, because I'm just doing 2c times c, and then 2c times 1. And then to FOIL, I'm going to do c times c, and it's plus. So c times c is c squared. C times the -1 gives me -1c. 2 times c. And 2 times -7 is -14. And I'll tell you what I'll let y'all do, because it is so long and so time consuming. If you want to work and simplify this whole top first, before you worry about writing the bottom down every time.
I fully ignore that until,
Yeah, that's okay,
or till the very end,
Yeah.
until I have to use it.
as long as you don't lose it.
As long as it's not.
As long as you don't lose it and don't completely ignore it. So then I have 2c plus c. 2c squared plus c squared gives me 3c squared. I have 2c minus c, which is 1c, plus 2c, which is 3c, then minus the 14.
Where did the 14 come from?
When I FOILed way up here,
Where's the 7 come from?
the what?
The 7.
I don't know.
That's supposed to be a 1.
It's supposed to be a 1. Good Lord, help me today.
I mean, it was looking good to me.
Yeah, it was looking good to me too.
You're still showing that you're using the, you know.
I know my process, I just can't read my numbers.
I'm so glad you know what we doing here. Who, see you? I need a tutor. Anybody else need to?
Who is it over there that's always catching my mistakes?
Lydia?
Lydia. Very good job.
Yeah, very good job. I'm finna hire her.
Same.
Same, I got somebody over here that'll hire you too.
So,
Maybe y'all can get on a Zoom meeting.
okay, do we need to meet up in Truman?
Meet up in Truman. Very nice McDonald's and a very nice Burger King in Truman. Very nice.
Are you from Truman?
Oh, no, it's just for someone in Jonesboro, so they need help too. I was making it light for her. I can drive.
That's meeting y'all in the middle. Some of them are Terry, some of them here. Okay, so I'll probably lose somebody when I do this. But this is my first fraction that I'm keeping, right? I finally got it simplified. I'm keeping it. I'm going to flip this bottom fraction. And I'm doing this like this because I'm running out of room. So I'm flipping the bottom fraction right here. And then I changed my division to multiplication. Okay. Now, I have a c plus 1 on top, right? C plus 1 on bottom.
You just put that all across.
Yeah. I just understood 1, so 3c squared plus 3c minus 2. C plus 2, not 1, c plus 2 times 2c plus 1. Uh-huh.
It goes, try to.
Factor, do I need to factor this top or FOIL the bottom?
I don't know how that's.
You don't have to. Well, what we're going to do, we're not going to worry about factoring the top and canceling. Okay, we're just going to get, because if you can get right here right now, then I'm happy. We'll worry about the rest of it later. All
Can you
right.
not try to combine the bottom?
Now, I mean, we could FOIL it out, but at this point, there's no reason to.
No point.
There's no point. Okay. All right. So 29 is probably the hardest one. Only because I have two fractions in the numerator and two fractions in the denominator. It's only hard because it's time consuming. Okay.
It's got no numbers in it.
That makes it easy.
So we like put a 1 in.
You can put ones if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we've been doing with the numerator. So y times x, I'm going to write it as xy. Y'all can write it as yx if you want to. And then my little butterfly, x times x, I get x squared. This is minus line. And then y times y gives me y squared. In the denominator, we're going to do the same thing to this denominator that we did to this numerator. Okay, so y times x gives me an xy or yx for the denominator. And then x times the x gives me the x squared. Y times the y gives me the y squared, and this one's plus. I just thought it was going to be longer.
Okay.
Now, we still got to keep flip and change because this is still division. So I'm still keep flip and change. So I'm going to do the x squared minus the y squared over xy. Change it to multiplication. Xy over x squared plus y squared.
So the x would cancel out, and then you just
Then just put them together.
start waiting.
So x squared minus y squared, x squared plus y squared.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It looks harder than what it is.
It's lazy. Like I just did something incorrectly the first time.
And that's the ones that people get wrong. Yes, sir.
Would that x squared not cancel?
No, because of the minus and the plus. So if it was x squared times y squared, then yeah, they would cancel. But since I got a plus and a minus, the signs in the middle have to be the same. If they were both x squared minus y squared, then yeah, they
Like
cancel.
if you were to accidentally use the top one as addition, you would assume it all.
Yeah, if this had been plus, this had been plus, of course, if this had been plus and this had been plus,
Yes.
it would already been 1, because it would have been the same thing.
That's what I thought it was good.
All right, our last one. And I'm gonna let y'all work this one. As it goes back to like number 26. That's 2x over 3 plus 4x over 7 divided by x plus 2. Or x over 2. Did I do something wrong? I lost my variable.
No, that's how it came out.
That came out, okay.
Where'd you get 26? Oh,
14 plus 12.
I wrote out 14 and 12 originally.
And that divides down more to 2.
All good?
Yeah, it comes out to 2.
Come out to 2?
No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
no, it's a fraction.
Yeah, that's what I say. I didn't think, because 2 times 26 gives me 52.
Right, you're right.
And 3 doesn't go in it, so, yeah.
And
And I'm gonna leave it as improper instead of changing it to mixed. That's one thing in algebra. We don't normally change an improper fraction to a mixed number. We leave it as an improper fraction.
You're able to cancel x. That's which question?
Right, because it's 26 times x, and then just over a single x. Now, if it was 26 plus x, then I couldn't cancel it.
How do we just 26x?
It is 26. Well, 26x is same thing as saying 26 times x. Because if x was a number, say x was 7, then it'd be 26 times 7. So yeah, you can, if it's like that, then you can cancel. The only way you can't cancel is if there's that plus or that minus. So in the textbook, and I'm gonna go over here and see if I can switch my screen. I don't know if I did it this time or not. Yeah, if you click on this blue, this is a home page of your Canvas course. You click on that, it takes you to the textbook. Okay, and this takes you to the chapter 1 outline. Now, if you needed a different chapter, you could go here, 2, 3, 4, whatever. But since we're in 1.6, click on 1.6. Yes, okay, I know that. They're 100% free. That's the reason they're downloadable. That's OpenStax. So this gives you more practice or more, well, I've tried to take all the examples out of here. That's where I got all my examples. But if you go down through to the exercises, got plenty of exercises here. These highlighted ones gives you the answer. Takes you to the answer page. So this is 1.6. Number 17, the answer was 1. So all I had to do was click on it. Then I can click back and go here. So, any of these, I can just click on and go to the answer if you want to check them. So all the highlighted numbers, and it's all the odds. You need more practice, or if you want to,
Where is that at again?
go into your college algebra course. I'm in Mark Trees, but same place in Jonesboro. At the very, it's the download for free. That's this right here. Okay, you can download a PDF version, but when you click on it, it takes you. Let me get out of this. Go back to the. My version does so much more than the PDF, but you can print the PDF. Someplace it tells you to download the PDF. Somewhere you can download a PDF if you want to.
Yeah, but to review.
Okay. Yeah, go to 1.6. Go all the way through to get to the exercises, and then these were all the factoring that you factored and simplified. So the highlighted number, the blue numbers. Like if I wanted the answer to 13, I click on 13. I would make sure I'm in the right section, 1.6, and there's the answer to 13. Okay. Now, if you work an even number, you don't get the answers, but you work the odd numbers, you get the answers. And that's one way to learn this. Now, going back to chapter 1, we've looked at polynomials, factoring polynomials, and the rational expressions. I never did this video, so we'll not worry about that one. But when I test you, it'll be over these 3 sections. Okay. So
What was those 3 sections again?
1-4, 1-5, and 1-6.
Okay.
Okay. So you can click on the review exercises and then just do the ones from 1-4, 1-5, and 1-6, which is the polynomials, the factoring polynomials, and the rational expressions. And the same thing too, you can go through, here's a practice test, but that's all of the whole chapter. You'll only want to pick out and of course you can see the polynomials, the simplifying the expressions, make sure it's things that you've done before. Did we multiply? Yeah, we did this, didn't we? Add, subtract polynomials.
Yeah.
So from this test, it looks like everything from 19 through 29 on the practice test. It'd be a good place to work and to review. Okay, so questions? I thought I was going to get out early today. 10 minutes.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. All on Monday. Have a good weekend.